Welcome, everyone, to the EZANZ podcast number 51. We had our grand number 50 podcast last week, and I recommend everyone to go back and check that because we had Mr. Dmac going to E3 and checking everything out. But with us today, we have a lot of the regular crew, the regular villains. We've got Mr. Stephen Nolan.
Oi, Savaloy. Hello. How are we doing?
Yeah. Savaloys are Stephen's favourite sausage.
They are.
Key fact. We've got Mr. Reliable, Andrew Pearson.
Every time.
Well, of course, we've got Mr. Dmac, who I've already mentioned, and we have Daniel McAvoy.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah.
I don't have any favourite sausages, so that doesn't happen in my hello.
Damn, not like a good bratwurst. Like, I don't know.
I realise where I've gone with this intro, and I'm just going to back out of it.
There we go. So today we are going to smash into it. We had a massive podcast last week, so we're going to try, be a little bit more on time, but we are 5 people who love to talk, so we will see how that goes. But to kick us off, Dmac, I know you had a little bit of a conversation you wanted to take us through with Windows 7 end of support.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Fletch and guys, for joining, obviously, the podcast today. Bit of news, obviously, we've spoken about this before, but Windows 7 end of support is coming, and it's coming sooner than you think. Maybe anybody want to think how many days are left until Windows 7?
150.
Is it sub 200?
Sub 200. You're right there, AP. So it is
180.
194 days. 194. That's how many days it is until January 14, 2020, when Windows 7 is end of support. Just like always, what it means to our customers who are currently using it is there's no more support coming from Microsoft. So you're more at risk for security. If anything goes wrong, unfortunately, there's no more support for you. So it brings us into a great leading question. Windows 10 is definitely for you. So asking everybody here, Fletch, what's your favorite feature about Windows 10 and why?
Okay, I have a feature that I always talk about. People have already heard me talk about it on this podcast, but I don't care because I think it is an absolutely essential thing that we always have to mention to every customer. And it is, in line with this Windows 7 end of support idea, the Windows key on your keyboard.
Yeah.
And it might be like, oh, okay, that sounds exciting. A Windows key on a keyboard. Why the heck is Fletcher talking about that? He's going off on one of his tangents again. But there's a really key reason for that. And no matter who I talk to about Windows 10 devices, whether they've come from a different operating system, whether they've come from an older version of Windows, telling them about the Windows key, being able to tap that and then just type in what they want, I think is essential because it takes away that fear of change that everyone has when it comes to changing to a new piece of technology, particularly for computers. For some reason, I think PCs, people get extra afraid of them because of some stereotypes out there. But in reality, there's only really one step you need to know to learn how to operate your whole entire computer, and that is hitting the Windows key and typing in what you want. So that's my favorite feature, just nice and simple, but it should be shown to absolutely every customer, talk to about everyone. Even if they're an expert, they might not know about it, and it will blow their mind.
That's cool. I like that one. AP, what's yours?
That'll help.
Yeah.
I was just thanking Fletch for stealing my the other way around. Thank you, Stephen. So I've got to think really quickly about something else that I like about Windows, and there's a lot that I like.
You've been around for a while, as we've spoken about. You've seen a few operating systems. I think Windows 10 obviously is the most popular, most productive.
Yeah.
I think second to the search function, which is the handiest thing in the world. I think the latest update or the insiders, they've split the Cortana and the search separately, which is cool. I do like that. And it just looks a little nicer when you search. You can search for. I think it's been a similar theme for a while now, but you can just search documents, that kind of stuff. But you've already kind of talked about that, Fletch. So I think it's going to sound real boring, but it's just the snapping feature. Now I know we've had that since Windows 7, but it's so much easier now to not only snap it, you can do with keyboard shortcuts, but the fact that you can see the windows on the other side that are open.
Yeah.
And I think like it's, gone are the days. I think in Windows 7 or Vista, maybe you could get widgets, like little apps that used to run, right?
Yeah.
So back then you could survive with that on the screen, but now I don't think anyone could honestly say that they don't need a full screen for the program that they're running, even though you can snap them for side by side, that kind of stuff. But to be able to just quickly jump between the two things, the same old way that you've always been able to do it in Windows, it's just a way smoother experience now. I think that's something I couldn't. I think I was using someone's Mac the other day, and it was driving me mental. And I'm not having a shot at Mac here, but about having to resize the windows, and I just wanted to look at two things at the same time. And then I guess when you do that type of stuff, it reminds you of the things that you can't live without. So I think that's probably number 2 on my list.
Yeah. Nice. I like how all the apps actually, when they snap into place, they automatically adjust for you. So you can still get as much of the important information within the screen size that you've put it to.
Yeah.
And that's still able to use the application as full potential.
Yeah. That's cool.
Nice. Steve, what do you got?
So mine is actually something that I learned about relatively recently. I would say probably in the last 3 to 6 months I learned about this feature, but it's quickly turned into, it's not something that I use very often or at all, but it's a feature that I feel needs to be talked about on Windows 10, especially for these people that are making the switch from Windows 7 to 10. It used to be, I think it used to be called Quick Assist, but it's now called Get Help. If you type in the search bar Get Help, it's an application that's natively built into Windows 10. That means that if people are having problems, or they're unable to do something, or they need a little bit of an assistance, they can use this Get Help button where they can contact a Microsoft customer service agent who can then help them on their computer. They can log into their computer remotely and they can access stuff. Or if you've got a tech savvy son, daughter, grandson, whatever it is, like for example, if I was to help my nan out, she could log into this Quick Assist app, give me the code, I could log in and I could control her computer remotely and take off all of the toolbars that she's installed onto her internet browser, so that way her computer will run a bit faster. To be able to do something like that using Quick Assist is fantastic, and I think that not enough people know about it. I mean, I've done this job nearly 4 years now, or over 4 years now, and I didn't realize that Quick Assist or Get Help was around until about 6 months ago when AP actually talked to me about it.
That's cool. I actually used that not too long ago. My wife's from Vietnam, and her sisters are in Finland. And her sisters had brought a computer and done something to it, and I had to log on with Quick Assist and that's literally about as far away from New Zealand as you can get, logging into a computer in Finland. So it is so good, like so valuable. Great shout. Dropping bombs.
Dmac, you got something for us, or do you want me to go first?
Oh man, I've been racking my head around Windows features, and there's so many cool ones on Windows 10 that I kind of have a bit of choice paralysis in this, but something that I think has been blowing minds and putting big smiles on faces is Windows themes. And it's the simplest thing. It's so simple. It's almost silly. You can right click on your desktop. You can go down to personalize. There's a little bit in the settings menu that just says themes, and you can hit get more themes. And it'll take you to the Microsoft Store. And I know a lot of people might never go into the Microsoft Store, and this might be a good reason for them to go in there. But there's actually some really cool, whimsical themes, dogs with sunnies on them. I keep harping on about this, but as I've spread the word around the office, there's more animals on desktops. It changes usually between 10 and 18 pictures, and it's really lightweight for your PC to handle. There's even themes in there that you can install or upload videos from your desktop and have short videos running in a silent format on your background. and have them all different on different monitors. And the synchronicity between accounts with Windows 10 now means that your theme and your settings on new devices that you set up, they can sync between them all. So it can feel really familiar when you log onto a new device and set it up and it feels like yours then. Definitely my pick.
That's cool, man. You definitely haven't made an impact within the office around the people that we talk to. So you're right. There's a lot of dogs. I had Ninja Cats for a while. Now I've got dogs because dogs are fun and they're always smiling. It's always fun.
I like the smiling creatures one.
Sorry.
Oh, yes.
The smiling creatures theme.
Smiling creatures. That is a cool one. I think there's over 100 different themes that are out there right now. So I definitely recommend to check it out as well. My favorite feature is Windows Timeline. So Timeline was introduced about 12 months ago, or March last year.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
So I'm one of those people that I try and keep as productive as possible. I like to see what I've done in the last couple of days as well. But Timeline is a great feature that you can find on your taskbar that you can see everything that you've worked on over the last up to 30 days in the distance, which is great. You can see from websites that you visited, applications that you've used, as well as Office 365 documents that you've been working on the last couple of days, which is great. And if you're an Android user, it actually syncs across with your mobile phone with your 365 service. So if you think about mobility and productivity on the go, that's a great feature.
Awesome. Those are some great features that everyone chose. And I wanted to really highlight that since we're talking about Windows 7 end of support, 3 of those features we talked about are actually features that satisfy Windows 7 users who switch to Windows 10 more than anything else. And I find it quite ironic that we chose those features because we didn't talk about it beforehand like we normally would if we were trying to set up something like this. But that is the search bar or Windows key and timeline, and now I'm blanking on the third one. What did you talk about, AP? Snap. There we go. So I think it's really cool that we talked about that and we hit those 3 features. Steve and Dmac let us down. That's okay. They obviously didn't pick up on the theme, but that's okay because Dmac's going to bring it back up now because he's going to talk about the news.
But Dmac, can you please do your intro?
Yes, I haven't heard it for so long.
No, I might do that on my last podcast that I ever have on here, but not this one. I'm sorry, guys. You're gonna have to go back into the footage and pick up.
Can we get a written contract?
All right, sure. I'll type it up now.
Sweet.
This is me typing a contract. All right. So news this week is actually news from the last 2 weeks. And I'm going to burn through a couple things really quickly. The very first one is the Microsoft Your Phone application has now just got Android notifications on your desktop. So if you do want to leave your phone in your bag or on the charger, my friend came around on the weekend and his phone charger wouldn't fit to where we were sitting on the couch. So he was a little bit spread away from it. So instead of having to sort of lean over the couch, have this awkward pose like going sideways, we just opened up Your Phone on his laptop whilst he was on the couch, and he could still reply to messages and see all the notifications and stuff coming up and see if there's anything important for him. Your Phone came down with an update towards the end of last year on Windows 10, but it has been getting features consistently. We've also seen the phone mirroring feature coming down the line in terms of betas and internal and dog food and things. And obviously it's been talked about out there. We should be seeing that feature, the phone mirroring one, coming in towards the end of the year.
Wow.
Now,
that's cool.
Now, just talking about sort of Microsoft news specifically, OneDrive has had some updates in terms of both the packages that we're going to be making available. So the data plans that both individuals and also businesses can purchase. But there was a new feature added, or at least announced, called OneDrive Vault. And so OneDrive Vault is a specific place within OneDrive that you can secure that'll require either a PIN, face, or fingerprint to log into. So not only is OneDrive safe and secure now, but if you and your customers are worried about possibly losing your password so somebody else can get into your OneDrive account, or somebody else walking over to your device whilst you've gone to the bathroom or something and opening up your OneDrive and getting your files and documents out. You can make personal vaults within OneDrive to secure those folders down so only you can log into them. I think it's a really important feature, and I think it'll also help our customers feel a lot more comfortable with using the service in the near future, with sort of hacks becoming more public.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
Absolutely. And I think the feature is going to be landing towards the end of this year. Microsoft does like to make sure that these things are working correctly and are well tested before they're launched out, so we don't have any files or folders that we can't get into anymore. Now, this is something that I'd really love to get your feedback from, team. And this is the last little bit of news here. Canada has had a new bit of support from the Windows family. It's launched on iOS for phone and for tablet for now. Hopefully, we'll see it on more platforms in the near future. And it's only available in Canada for now. I have very little other intel around that, but there's an application that we have launched in Canada called Soundscape. And Soundscape is an inclusivity application. It is for those people that are hard of sight, so those people that are blind or can't see a lot. Usually, in navigation applications, there is a sound or a trigger or something to let you know when to turn, but it doesn't really come from any spatial awareness in your own field of hearing. But Soundscape changes that. So if you are navigating a city in Canada using Soundscape and you're walking down the street, you'll get a notification to turn left, and that sound will be coming out of your left side, and it'll help you direct around where towards you're turning. So it'll help those people that are navigating in spaces that they're not familiar with, especially in cities, turn, move down streets, feel a little bit more comfortable and secure walking around in spaces, especially where they don't have sight to help them. I think a really cool move in the right direction.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a good one.
I like the idea of that. I think the only thing that scares me a little bit is I've been driving through Sydney CBD with my sat nav working, and all of a sudden the buildings being so tall means you lose the GPS signal, and it's telling you to turn down different roads and things like that. The last thing you want is for a partially sighted person to step out in front of traffic accidentally or something like that. It needs to be dead accurate.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm guessing that that's why Canada was the launch place, or the initial spot where Soundscape was launched, and only on one platform. I know a lot of applications, especially when you're walking, will use the GPS coordinates associated with different IP addresses from different Wi-Fi networks around you as well. So when you're walking down the street and there's Wi-Fi networks that you can't connect to, but do give away a little bit of information, i.e. location and distance and location, then sometimes those can be used as well. So I'm short on the specifics with this specific application here, but I think it's a really cool move in the right direction.
That's cool. I do like it. I think it's great for partially sighted people to have the confidence to be able to go and see the world around them, just with assistance. It's great.
Absolutely. And it sort of also talks about that platform that Microsoft's been working on for quite a while now, where instead of us holding individuals down to our platforms and our operating systems and our own internal IP, we're supporting customers where they are as well. And so building more applications, more software to empower our customers on the platform that they are, i.e. on a competitor product, I think is a really strong message to tell.
Yeah, agreed.
And that does it for news today. Thank you very much, team.
Boom.
Good job,
What interesting. You had me on the edge of my seat bringing up this mysterious Canada app. That it sounds really cool.
Yeah.
But that is literally us for the day. I can't believe we've done such a quick podcast. We haven't, talked too much smack to each other, which is refreshing as well. So that is us. I hope we have learned some great things. Come back next week to check out some more EZANZ podcasts. As always, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on ExpertZone. Check Steve out on Mixer. All the links will be below. But until next week, we'll catch you later.
That thing that was the closest I think I ever came to love at that age. I fell in love with this Tamagotchi because it was a dinosaur.